Sports means everything to me. It's a big part of who I am. It's a big part of how I learned to be a part of a team, how I learned commitment. I played sports since I was, 6 years old and always dreamed of working in sports. I never knew what capacity. It just kind of was something that was ingrained in me since I was young, and I've absolutely loved it ever since. I grew up in Costa Mesa, California, in Orange County. I knew from probably 13 years old I wanted to be a sports reporter. I never knew I would necessarily end up in boxing, but it just grabbed me by my heartstrings and I couldn't let it go. I quit my job full time and just said, I'm gonna jump and into boxing and see what happens. And 9 years later, here we are, still with Top Rank, and I love it more and more with each fight that passes. It's a crazy business, it's a crazy sport, but there's nothing like it in the world.
When I came to Top Rank, she was one of the ones that used to interview me all the time. And I thought it was funny, when she would interview me, because I'm like, what is this girl doing interviewing me? But she knows boxing. She's been around it long enough to know boxing. And I'm just so happy that she's finally getting an opportunity to show what she truly can do.
I think what keeps me so immersed in boxing is the story of the fighters. How these guys put their life on the line. Just the fact that the momentum can shift with one punch. I think that just anticipation of not knowing what's coming next is something that really drives me and keeps me going. And it's hard not to get kind of caught up in that yourself, so it's addicting.
Boxing people tend to love other boxing people, and people who really are so ingrained in the sport, so passionate about it, so knowledgeable. And, Cristina's right in there. She asks smart questions. She's well prepared. She knows the sport intimately well. Everybody on our ESPN staff has great respect for her.
I mean, there's been huge strides being made in sports with women in these lead positions that before were only men. But once you get into the fights and you're just listening, I hope they don't say, and they're not pointing out that it's a woman's voice. They're just like, oh, that was a great call on that punch, or oh, that was a good opinion, or oh, I agree with her, not qualifying it that it's a woman.
She's not just a good female broadcaster. She's a good broadcaster, a great broadcaster. And I really appreciate her being a forerunner in terms of women getting behind the mic and blazing a new path for women and to be able to sit in the same seat that she's sitting in.
There's not a lot of women in the sport in general. I feel a responsibility with that pressure to represent for women, for my family, for my name, the right way, and show people that, I'm not just here because of my looks, but I have an education and a passion and a knowledge of this sport, and that's why I got to where I am. I just feel like I'm doing exactly what I've wanted to do my whole life. It's really been a dream come true.